Morning, everybody. Call the meeting in order. Start with a silence followed by the pledge, please. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Morning. We'll take a moment. Is there any public comment on agenda items only?
Question.
Your name, please?
Susan,
Okay.
under 8 information services, the Ring Central Migration, this Ring cameras.
No, it's Ring Central, which is a platform for phone services
The phone services
Yeah.
for
for the county
administration offices and
and the courts and everything else. In other words, we went from Mitel to Ring Central.
okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Old business. I'm sorry, the highlight of the meeting. Assessment, corrections to the duplicate. Deborah Storman, Chief Assessor.
We have no additions.
Of course.
We have subtractions of $13,880.
Thank you. Motion to accept?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. Old business. Amend motion 2026-163 dated 6/3/2026 to reflect a change in vendor from T-Mobile to Premier Wireless Business Technology Solutions for the Everlink Mobility Kit for the Office of Emergency Management with no change in price. Also approved the minutes of the June 3rd, 2026 Commissioners meeting. Let's do this. We'll do the first one first to amend that motion of 163. Is there a motion, please?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2026 Commissioners meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motions carry. Proclamations and certificates. We have Lisa Eck recognizing 40 years as the Director of the Growing Place Child Care Centers, Gary Emberg, America 250 Art Initiative, and Nancy Embeck of the America 250 Keystone Art Initiative, the Growing Place Child Care Centers for 50 years of operation, Carolyn Lang, Master Watershed Steward, Cindy Lou Morris for America 250 Keystone Art Initiative, the Pocono Chamber of Commerce for their grand opening, Bernadette Sabatini, America 250 Keystone Art Initiative, Linda Stockman Connors, also for the America 250 Keystone Art Initiative, and Ada Weinstein for the 250 Keystone Art Initiative. For Carolyn Lang, what we'll do is, Sharon, since you're our representative to the Conservation District, if you could please do that for us, please.
Certificate of Special Recognition to Carolyn Lang on reaching the milestone of 1,000 hours of volunteer service within Monroe County, working to improve the health of our streams, rivers, and other natural resources. Congratulations on the achievement of Master Watershed Steward. We have to stand right in front of the Delaware River.
Thank you. And to make those motions and proclamations and certificates official, is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. New business, personnel. We have an agenda A and B, ratify approve request for work additional hours in the sheriff's office. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have electronic financial transactions. We have vouchers payable for 6/5 of 2026 and 6/9 of 2026. Also gross payroll for 5/31/26. We have Highmark, Geisinger, dental claims and flexible spending account. Is there a motion, please, for electronic financials?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Travel authorization, approve and ratify travel request report for assessment, children and youth services, conservation district, the controller, emergency services, juvenile probation, planning, and voter registration and elections. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. Children and youth, ratify an adoption assistance agreement for LJ. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Excellent. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. In the Commissioner's Office, approve the budget adjustment report dated 6/17 of 2026 totaling $44,054. I'm sorry, $444,054. Of that, aging is $21,105 or 4.7% of the total. Children and youth, $389,075 or 87.6% of that amount. We also have from contingency and contribution for the sheriff's vests and the court transcripts, and also in the district attorney's office, there's a $13,000 budget adjustment for temporary employee salaries. Also moving on to approve the payment of $6,700 to Reed and Associates for geologic services at the new well at the Monroe County Correctional Facility. Also approve the following payment out of the hotel tax fund. And Monroe County Transit Authority for $450 for shuttle service for Brinker's Mill event. Also the Pocono Mountain Volunteer Firemen's Carnival, an additional $1,000. The original budget was $3,000 for security services at the carnival. Also approve and ratify the following opioid grants from the opioid settlement funds consistent with uses under the opioid settlement agreement Exhibit E. There's a memorandum of understanding with NEMA, Keystone, Pennsylvania, Carbon Monroe Pike, Drug and Alcohol, Carbon Monroe Pike, PA, in the amount of $4,400 to provide 6 mental health educational classes to residents with opioid use and co-occurring disorders. Also a memorandum of understanding with Keystone Community Initiative in the amount of $235,025 to support an implementation and expansion of coordinated reentry initiative here in Monroe County. Also approve the following program budgets with Kudu Creative for the period ending of 12/31 of 2026. Video, cable, and radio totaling $14,400 and digital advertising totaling $81,933. Also, payment in the amount of $7,525.67 for 3 LEDI coordinators to attend the RISE training program. And also payment of the amount of $2,700 to the Elks Lodge 319 for a drug awareness event to be held on July 12th of 2026.
Well,
I'm sorry, July 11th of 2026, and approve the 2026-2027 fiscal year budgets as followed. For the Grants Administration Department, $240,389. State Food Purchase Program, $256,573. Human Services Development Fund, $94,507. Homeless Assistance Program at $63,764. Emergency Solutions Grant 2426, which expires on 7/31 of 26, of $35,316. Monroe County Transit, $973,053. And CareerLink, $1,222,299, for the total fiscal year budgets of $2,885,901. And also add to the following vendors to the county list of approved vendors for the Sheriff's Office Scenario Trainer Incorporated. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, just a point of clarification, when you were reading the about the memorandums of understanding for the opioid settlement funds, the second one is Cornerstone Community Initiative. I think you said it was Keystone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cornerstone.
Second.
I've been bad. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. And the correctional facility approve the agreement with the Carbon Monroe Pike Drug and Alcohol for additional level of care assessments at $150 per assessment. Is there a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor signify. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this reentry initiative, does that have to do with rehabilitation?
In other words, getting people as they are come out of the correctional facility so that they can continue and helping them become better citizens in the community. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Fiscal and grants, ratify authorization of Ashley Carrick, Grants Manager, to electronically submit the fiscal year 2025 State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, SCAP, for the period of 7/1 of 2023 through 6/30 of 2024 in the amount of $50,000. Also ratify authorization of Ashley Carrick, Grants Manager, to electronically submit BJA Fiscal Year 25 De-escalation and Crisis Response Training Program for the period of 10/1 of 2025 through 9/30 of 2028 in the amount of $700,000 to provide increased training and associated overtime at Monroe County Correctional Facility. And also authorize Ashley Carrick, Grants Manager, to electronically sign the fiscal year 2025-2026 Justice Reinvestment Initiative. 2, contract for the period of 7/1/2026 through 3/31 of 2029 in the amount of $302,905 to support probation and treatment court. And also approve the Emergency Solutions Grant 2025-2027 subrecipient contracts as followed. Emergency Shelter and Street Outreach to RHD Street Defeat, $73,847.81. Emergency Shelter to Family Promise for operations of $24,615.94. Emergency Shelter for Safe Monroe operations, $6,713.44. Emergency Shelter for the West Stroudsburg Wesleyan Church for operations and essential services of $29,091.56. Rapid Rehousing, Pocono Area Transitional Housing for services, financial and rental assistance, $51,469.69. And Rapid Rehousing Homeless Prevention for Pike County Human Services for services, financial and rental assistance, $38,042.81, for a grand total of $223,781.25. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. Information Services.
Sorry, will you take questions on that one, sir?
We can take them afterwards.
Oh, sorry.
Is that all right? Information Services, ratify agreement with North Star Networks to provide 16 hours of assistance with Ring Central migration at no cost to the county. Also ratify supplemental Microsoft Enterprise update statement for volume licensing, and also approve the privacy statement regarding protection of personal data. Is there a motion, please?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. Office of Emergency Management, execute service and maintenance agreement with KFT Fire Trainer LLC in the amount of $32,027 for a period of 1 year. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. And the Planning Commission, reappoint the following individuals to the Northeastern Pennsylvania Alliance MPO Technical Planning Committee for a term of 7/1 of 2026 through 6/30 of 2028. County Representative Christine Meinhardt Fritz with a alternate of Nate Staruch. We have an opening at-large representative. Also another at-large representative is Eric Koopman. Urbanized Area Representative is John Christie, with his alternate being Robert Gress. And also acknowledge Roger Chrisman, end of service with the Northeast Pennsylvania Alliance MPO Technical Planning Committee. And thank you to Roger. Is there a motion, please? Is there a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. In the Treasurer's Office, ratify establishment of bank accounts with First Keystone Community Bank for the following. We have a liquid fuels account, Act 44, and a liquid fuels account, Act 89. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Capital outlay purchases. Ratify the capital purchase report dated 6/17 of 2026 totaling $51,047.63, and that is for furniture in our public defender's office. And also approve the capital purchase report date 6/17 of 2026 for $4,304.49, of which is for vests at the for the sheriff's office. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved. Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Under miscellaneous, Mr. Parker, do you have anything?
I do, Mr. Chairman. First, I'd like to thank Kim Erickson, the Northeast Ombudsman, who put together a bell program for our local nursing homes. And you can see the bells on display out in the hallway here if you go out and to the left. But they're beautiful bells decorated patriotically for the semi-quincentennial. And we're pleased to display those here. And upcoming, or we've had a few things happening with the Keystones. So last week, Jackson Township unveiled their Keystone. Also, Stroudsburg High School just put up their Keystone yesterday, and it's right in front of the high school and looks beautiful. That artist was Coteria McCarthy. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. She just graduated this year. Also, the one in Jackson Township was designed by Sherry Naranjo and painted by Thomas Neiman. Tonight, we'll be unveiling the Eldred Township, or dedicating Eldred Township's Keystone at 7 p.m. at the Township Building in Kunkletown, and that was done by artist Bernadette Sabatini. Tomorrow night, we'll be unveiling the Price Township Keystone at the Price Township Building at 5:45 p.m., and that's by artist Peyton Hoop. And then on June 27th, in Delaware Water Gap at their Founders Day event, they'll be unveiling the Delaware Water Gap Keystone at 10 a.m. at the Borough Building. And that's by artists Jessica Delfino and Jill Swersey. So those are some upcoming Keystone events. Also, I just wanted to mention Sunday, June 28th, there's an event in Coolbaugh Township at Will's Mansion, the past and present of the Lenape in Pennsylvania. And Shelley DePaul, clan mother of Lenape Nation of Pennsylvania, will discuss the past, present of the Lenape people. And I did put some of these in the back as well. I just want to highlight, we have 4 active passport trails. The historical marker one is the most popular, started the soonest. And we did find a remedy for the missing signs. So we have little yard signs by those posts now. So you can still go to those and read about it and find them a little more easily than it is with just a post. And then there's also one for the buildings on the National Historic Registry, museums and cultural centers, and theaters and venues was just started last week. The Pocono Raceway is one of them. So, but there's multiple theaters, Shawnee Playhouse and the Sherman Theater are all on that passport. And there's different incentives for each one. For that one, if you complete 6 of them, you'll be entered to win movie tickets or race tickets or play tickets. So encourage you to grab those and sign up for each one and go and visit interesting places in our county. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Sharon?
Sure, yeah. Those people that are interested in some of the musical kinds of things that'll be happening coming up, we did make the announcement before regarding the auditioning for 1776, which will be shown by the community initiative show that will be held at Notre Dame High School. They have a great stage. They really have good sound system, so it'll be a really beautiful place to have the performance at. And that's going to be in October. There is information about that, and if anybody's interested in trying out, and I have said this, it's mostly, if you've ever seen the show 1776, mostly all guys, men. But ladies, if you're interested, they are accepting ladies trying out. But you have to dress up like a guy once in a while, but that's okay. And to continue that, and the tryouts are in August, so they'll be coming up. And there's directions on the form as to what you need to do, prepare for that. The other thing is, Pocono Summer Chorus has been around for quite a few years. I don't know if it's a group of individuals, adults that get together and like to sing under the direction of Dr. James Maroney, who's a retired professor from East Stroudsburg University. He's done it for years. Really, I've been part of it for a number of years. But this year, of course, we're celebrating the 250 anniversary, and all the music that we're singing goes way back to authors and writers and different people. Some of the music is really, some you'll know and some you'll go, well, where'd that come from? Like there's a fight song that we're singing that I'd never even heard of before. But anyway, that's coming up, and that is on July 23rd at 7 p.m. at St. John's Lutheran Church in Stroudsburg. There's no admission. Any donations that we receive always goes to, and this is year after year, Meals on Wheels. We do this for Meals on Wheels every summer. So it kind of keep that. Okay. Thank you.
Only 11 more months to the next community night, so make sure you keep your calendars out. Those who hear me talk about it all the time, I just want to let you know. Are there any comments from the audience? Teresa?
Teresa Pesh, and my statement today is in regards to, I believe that in regards to student surveys that are done in the county and the state through the nation, that they need to be more open and the government needs to be more open and transparent about the handling and the privacy of the children. So in particular is, I'm going back to my usual survey that I talk about, which is the Monroe County Partnership for Gun Safety Youth Survey. And in particular, it was 38 items that were on the survey given to high school students. And it asked about their perception and experience of firearms. And what it also did, though, even though it said it was supposed to be confidential, it actually asked some very demographic, personal questions. And so I just like to, and it started with that. And so the personal questions had to do with how old, your age, your grade. And then specifically it says, are you Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin? And your options are no, not of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. The next is yes, Mexican, Mexican American, Chicano. The next one is yes, Puerto Rican. The next one, yes, Cuban. And lastly is yes, another Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. The next question is, what is your race? And then it asks, are you male, female, or other? The last question that has to do with specific identification questions are, what school district are you in? So now if this is supposed to be confidential, those are very specific questions, especially for a small population of students being asked. And somebody could easily trace which student it is, especially for the Stroudsburg surveys. So with that said, is my concern is one of my main concerns is, what about the collection? the collection, the analysis, the interpretation and deletion of the survey data. Who's in charge of it? Who has it? I put out right to knows to the Monroe County Commissioners, the District Attorney's Office, even Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. Nobody has any records. And I'd just like to say that I actually I appealed it at the state level, and it's docket AP 2026-0922 is like my docket with the PCCD, Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, with the state. And specifically, the Pennsylvania Commission on the Crime and Delinquency stated the fact that the DA's office does not have the requested records, which conceivably could have been created pursuant to the county's agreement with the Carey Group. The Carey Group is the third-party vendor who supposedly has surveys and is analyzing them. The county's agreement with the Carey Group is consistent with PCCD not having the records. So with that said, nobody has the records.
Thank you. Anybody else? Tim, could you please go up and state your name and
Yeah, Tim Sanders, East Stroudsburg. Just a question on item 7A. The State Criminal Alien Assistance Program staff.
Yep.
I was just curious what that program is about.
that is for people that are, whether they have a green card, okay, that provides funding for that, okay? In other words, you have to be a legal resident alien in the country. And that's what that money is for.
And the word criminal though, does that have to do with people convicted or accused of crimes? That was the part that kind of got my attention.
I think it is, isn't it, Ashley, please?
It's a reimbursement for housing them in the correct, like for when they're in the correctional facility. It's a reimbursement from the government to the county.
Okay, thank you.
We introduced them.
Everybody knows Ashley Carrick, our grants manager, who is mentioned 3 times in our meeting minutes here today.
Facebook name now.
Anybody else?
Hi, Susan Diedrichsen, Stroudsburg. I have just basic questions about flock cameras, if we have a contract, how many cameras. So I was just wondering maybe who I can speak to about that. I called Stroud Township and they told me to ask commissioners. So
What are you asking cameras about?
surveillance cameras, flock, specifically flock or another company on the streets of Stroudsburg and in Monroe County.
Well, the Monroe County commissioners have or the county has cameras in our facilities, and
Right.
some of them go into our parking areas, okay? That's what we have.
Mhm.
Um,
Do you know who I would speak to about just general cameras? I mean, it's a pretty hot topic around the country. So I'm just trying to get information about how many cameras we might have. I met someone recently who told me that we have a lot. I don't know where they are. I don't see them. So I was just trying to get information from people who might know.
If you look up, you'll see cameras all over. There's
Yeah. So
Stroud Regional has cameras, police,
yeah.
Borough of Stroudsburg has cameras.
But-
WNEP has a camera the Vacation Bureau has one, looks down Main Street.
Okay, but where do I get information about the contracts? What kind of contract we have?
You'd have to go to each individual organization that has cameras out there.
Is there a list of organizations that have the cameras or just, I mean, there's a privacy concern because there's some information out there that the information, even though said to be private, is not so private. There are actually ways to go on and see people walking down the streets, going into doctors' offices, whatnot. So there's just a concern. So I'm just trying to get some information about how many cameras are around Monroe County and what kind of contracts we might have. You guys don't know about the contracts for cameras, not just for the police, but I mean,
No, in
Around-
other words, if the Borough of Stroudsburg has a contract for cameras that they put up, or whether it was SART put them up, or whether Pocono Mountain Regional has things or whatever, those are everybody's individual has contracts.
so Monroe County.
There's no clearinghouse for contracts like that.
Okay, So Monroe County does not have like a contract with surveillance cameras
We have cameras when you walk down the hallways
in this building.
in this building,
And
at
in
the
the courthouse.
correctional, at the courthouse, at the correctional facility. We have cameras, okay?
Mhm.
But we don't have cameras that are lurking on 7th and Main to see whether Todd is at his office or not, so.
Well, I mean, you can say lurking and we.
No, I'm just saying that we don't have those.
But it is if, all you have to do is
All
like,
I know is-
see, it's a concern.
I understand, but when I walk down the streets of Stroudsburg, I know that I'm on camera constantly, whether I'm walking through the alley to get my hair cut onto Main Street, I know that has a camera that picks me up.
Mhm.
And I know,
Okay, so I'll just have to do some more investigation.
yeah, I mean,
You may want to reach out to whoever your elected official is at the state level and ask, because I don't think there's any specific regulation saying that any one person keeps those records. It's each individual borough or township or organization,
Well, my township, Stroud Township, didn't seem to know anything about that. So.
what they have.
well, Stroud has cameras in their building. That's it,
But-
but they don't have them
I'm
outside.
talking about in the general,
And I,
Sometimes I've been told, and again, I'm just asking because I don't know, that there are cameras in places where we just drive, not just in town. There are many cameras around. So I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to find out.
State.
well, go ahead, David.
Well, you specifically mentioned flock cameras. And you can, there's a website you can go on and see where they are. So there's 3 in Bartonsville, there's 1 in Broadettsville.
Well, I did. I
Yes,
actually
okay.
downloaded that app this morning. and
Okay.
I don't know if I was using it correctly because I couldn't really see where the flock.
Okay.
She's asking for like contracts, procurement methods.
I mean, people
You
have.
would have to go to each municipality or jurisdiction to get those.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anything else? Yes, sir.
Nicholas Pistachio. Follow up a little bit on what Teresa talked about, right to know. First Amendment enumerates the right to redress grievance, but we haven't been very successful in that. The state seems to want to cover up everything. As far as surveys go, Second Amendment says that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Our rights are unalienable, which means they cannot be regulated, taken, or even abdicated. In Miranda versus the Arizona Supreme Court ruled, where rights secured by the Constitution are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation which would abrogate them. The state violates our rights constantly with impunity. And we have citizens who go with it without realizing what the law is. If you wanted to cut down on crime and suicide, you would adhere to the statutes that secured our safety before freedom and liberty became too much of a burden for the majority of people, for the ambivalent and the foolish amongst us. The problem is that there's no real interest in anything other than agendas. History tells us that agendas strip everyone of their rights. The lies surrounding safety and security accounted for a genocide of over 250 million people in the last century. This genocide wasn't carried out by myself, it was carried out by people operating under the government. If you want to verify that, you can go to Democide, Murder by Government. It was a comprehensive compilation of documentation taken from worldwide accounts, China, Russia, and so on. I wrote an article called The Case of Treason, which was reviewed by constitutional scholars some years back. You can read it on one of the places would be restoretherepublic.org. I don't know where else it's been published, but it talks specifically about the rights and the duty to keep and bear arms, which this state seems to be working on diligently to remove. That's all.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I think a simple question. So not specifically even what I talked about, but when we can't get answers, I can't get answers about the survey, or if we can't get answers about cameras in the town, and the government's supposed to be so-called transparent, like using that word. And so where do we go? So do you have any suggestions of who I could ask next?
Teresa, that's all right. Like I said before, if you were looking for specific documentation with regard to contracts, okay, you could go on the Stroudsburg Borough's website and look at their past agendas to see whether they've purchased any or done any grants to get cameras, okay? That's how you'd have to go look at it. I'm saying we don't have any information to give you. We have information on what kind of cameras we have here, okay? And that's what we have. We're not responsible for that. The only thing is that you're allowed to put cameras up. The only thing is whether you are recording voices. That's where it becomes illegal. You can put up a camera, like your Ring doorbell, okay? But the thing is that as long as you're not recording, you're under surveillance. I'm under surveillance right now. See me right there.
There's also a question about those, where that information is going and how available it is to anybody. I mean, theoretically, if you have a lot, like say in New York City where I used to live.
Right, there's cameras all over. Everywhere.
So, but theoretically, there are sites online now where you can go and, you know, if you have bad intentions, you can go to these cameras and watch people, and you can watch them go into places that should be private. I mean, there's some cameras that are aimed at children's playgrounds, and, you know, a stalker, someone with bad intentions could use that. It's readily available. I'm not saying it is here, that's why I was asking questions, but in some places, I mean,
I understand.
frightening.
Is there anything else? I'm sorry, Mr. Gerhart, you had your hand up.
I just wanted to
Speak louder, please.
I just wanted to express my disappointment. Last Sunday before last, Pocono Pride Festival was held here in Stroudsburg, another very successful event, very inclusive event for not just residents of Monroe County, but there are thousands of people that come from all over the place that because they believe this to be a welcoming community, place where we can be ourselves and have some level of acceptance. I want to point out that, you know, this year I did not see a pride flag on the administration building here. It's interesting to me that two of our neighboring counties, Northampton and Missouri counties, have very recently adopted ordinances to require that businesses and organizations in those locations have to respect the rights of all of the citizens of their counties. And here we can't even put up a symbol just to say, yeah, you're welcome here. You're part of our community. You know, last year I stood up and spoke about this and pointed out that things have only gotten worse in terms of mental health issues, suicide amongst LGBTQ youth is up. Transgender community is under fire. Made the scapegoats for all kinds of crazy things that, you know, this idea that in America we can be ourselves and everyone is free to be and to live their life as they choose is a dream yet to be realized. And some courts, like I mentioned, Northampton and Missouri counties, they recognize that. I'm just disappointed that we don't share it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Seeing none, is there? Yes, sir.
I have a question regarding cameras. You mentioned that you can't record. Is this a two-party consent state?
Yes. Motion to adjourn? We are then. Thank you.